Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show. I have been having all the technical difficulties today, so I apologize for my delay. Um, I don't know what has been up with Facebook. It has been giving me so many problems. Same with Instagram. Like, we've had all the technical problems, like all of them. Um, Happy Monday. Happy Monday, Landers. How is everyone doing? I'm pulling up my notes. I gotta tell you, this was a highly requested topic. Like, a ton of you voted for this topic last week. So it looks like a lot of you need it. A lot of you are wondering what to do if you're not, because you're not selling your programs or your offers. It seems like a struggle that so many in this group are having. Definitely a struggle that I've had many times in the past. Many of my clients have encountered. It's part of being in business. Every once in a while, you're going to come up with something, you're going to create something, you're going to go all in and try to sell it, and it's not going to sell as well as you want it to sell, or it's not going to sell at all. So I'm really excited to talk about it today. I get super pumped up when I see so many of you struggling with the same issue, because that tells me that this episode is going to be unbelievably valuable to you, right? Like, the more that you guys vote on something and the more that you let me know, like, hey, yes, I want to learn about this, the more that this show is custom tailored to you and all of the struggles that you're encountering, which means that the more that it's going to help you and the more that it's going to help you get results in your business, which is the ultimate goal of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show. Okay, let me pull up my notes. Before we begin, if you are new to this community, welcome. My name is Barbara Iuliano, and I am a business and confidence coach for coaches. I help coaches like yourself get started, scale your business, make money doing what you love, really understand how to market yourself online, make a ton of sales, reach your income goals, and simultaneously get super confident while you are at it. Okay. Um, I'm also the founder of this group, and I go live every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Put it in Eastern, put it in your calendars, set alarms, make sure that you're coming here and that you are partying with us every Monday. We do the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show. And then throughout the week, we actually have two topics that you get to vote on. So you tell me what you want to learn. Okay. The topics are created based on comments that you guys are posting in here, questions that you guys are posting in here, questions that you answer when you grow the group. So, like, every single topic that we create, it's based on you, not what I think that you need. And then you guys get to tell me which one you love most. So, see you every Monday, right? Okay. So, let's get started. I have a lot to say on this topic. I think most people can relate to this. This is why it was such a popular one this week. But it's the struggle of, I have this program, I have this service, I have this course, whatever it is that you have, and it's just not selling. And I have to be honest with you, when I was writing down my notes for this episode, it was very, very hard for me. Like, super hard, because it's really difficult for me to give you insight, advice, or coach you through this if I don't really know why your thing is not selling. Okay, let me take a sip of water. Um, if I don't really understand why your program is not selling, then it's really hard for me to give you custom tailored support around it, right? So I guess the first thing that we need to do, if your program is not selling, it's figure out why it's not selling. Okay. So that's how I broke down this episode. It's going to be broken down into two parts. Part number one, it's going to be, why is it not selling? What are the possible dozens of ways or reasons why your thing is not being sold? Why people are not taking their credit cards and being like, this is the thing for me. Let me buy it. Let me join in. And then once we know why that is, Then we can go into what to do in order to actually sell it. Okay. Now, every single one of you is probably going to have a different reason as to why your program is not selling, because there's a lot of reasons as to why that happens. That's okay, right? Like, business is not a one size fits all. Business is all about customization. Business is really about understanding what your issues are and what your struggles are. And what this episode is going to help you do is it's going to start helping you think like a CEO, that you can grab a problem in your business and you can be like, okay, so this is my problem. Let me think like a high level CEO and figure out how to solve it. Okay. So I'm going to start throwing out reasons why your program maybe not be selling, right? And by the way, before I read you all of my handy dandy notes, I want to know, do you currently have a program that's not selling as much as you wanted to? Drop the name of your program, um, or maybe a program that you wanted to sell more. Drop the name of it, and let me know. And yeah, let's just kind of like let each other know which program is not selling. I actually have a good story for this, because I feel like sometimes that's helpful for you guys when you hear my flaws and my struggles and my mistakes. So I remember the first time I ever launched my super popular group program called Overlooked to Fully Booked. Okay. The first time I ever came up with this program, it was a lot of work. Okay. Lots of videos to record, lots of logistics to put into place. It was the first time I ever done a group program before. So much effort went into that, like so much effort. And it was so disappointing when I first launched that program, because it was a complete flop, like zero. No one joined, okay? No one signed up for it. And I think sometimes knowing and normalizing the idea, like, hey, sometimes this happens, not just to you, not just to the other person watching this live stream, but also to people who've been doing this for a really long time. And even the first time I launched this program, I had been in business for a while, I had been successful for a while. I was literally booked out with one on one clients, but I created a new program and it didn't sell. So I totally get the frustration. I totally get how disappointing it feels. I totally get that you can like be sitting there behind the screen and being like, why me? Like, do people not like me? Is something wrong with me? Like, why is this working for everyone else and not working for me? So, everything I'm going to talk about today, I want you to understand I'm not talking about it from the angle of I'm better than you and I have it all figured out and I never struggle in my business, right? And like I'm here to let you know how to rise to my level. Like I'm actually talking from the angle of like I have experienced most of the things that you have experienced. I probably will continue to experience most of the things that you experience. These are universal problems in business. These are universal problems as you scale your coaching business. It is normal and I get it. I feel your pain. I feel your frustration. And I want you to know that not only do I hear you, not only do I see you, not only do I validate you, but I have struggled with you as well. So, with that said, I also want you to know that there is a solution, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there is a version of yourself and there is a version of your business where that program is actually selling. Like once and for all, when that program is actually making money, you just have to figure out the two layers that I'm about to go into, which is why is it not selling? And then what do we do in order to make more sales with it, right? How do you guys feel so far? Questions, comments, concerns? I always like it when you share everything. Okay, so I wrote down 11 reasons why your program or course may not be selling. Okay, and I hope you're ready for them, right? Get your Tila's just getting up. She's like, you're being too loud, mom. Go back to sleep, Tila. Go back. 11 reasons why your program or course may not be selling. Write these down because even if you are like, oh, that's my reason, I'm going to write down my reason. I want you to have them all, because if in the future this happens to you again, go back to the 11 reasons why your program may not be selling and then figure it out, right? So the first one is, you may not have a USP, okay, which is a unique selling proposition. And what a US, I'm just going to simplify this because I'm all about simplicity over complexity. A USP is what sets your program apart. Okay, so I am well aware and I 100% understand that there are dozens and dozens and hundreds, if not thousands, and maybe even hundreds of thousands of business coaches doing very similar work to what I do. Okay, so in order for my program to stand out and in order for my courses to stand out and actually be something that people want to buy, I need to make sure that I have a unique selling proposition. I need to make sure that my program has a unique angle to it, okay, that allows me to compete. And I say compete in quotation marks as always, because when I say compete, it's like allows me to thrive, right? Amongst hundreds and thousands of other business coaching programs, okay? Or hundreds and thousands of other courses teaching you sales, marketing, content, and everything that I teach, right? So, reason number one, you may not have that unique angle, right? Like your program may look like every single other program out there, and you need to work on figuring out how you position yourself in a more unique way, okay? Reason number two, why your program or your course may not be selling is it may not be as good as you think. Okay, this is a really hard pill to swallow. But if you've created a program based on what you think that your people need, it may not be as good as you think from the angle and the standpoint of maybe your people cannot see the value in it, right? So, example, overlooked to fully booked. First time I launched it, it was a flop, and I thought it was the best program ever. I was like, this program is literally going to revolutionize uh, the coaching industry. It is literally the best thing after sliced bread. However, the first time I did that, I did it from my own perspective and what I thought was really good and really important. But what I learned after putting it out there and not getting anyone to buy the program the first round is that I didn't take enough time to figure out what my people actually thought was important to them. Okay. So you could have the best program in the world, but if your people don't think that it's the best program, you're going to have to tweak that and adjust that, okay, so that it actually becomes a great program for them and not a great program for you. Okay. I hope this is making sense. Drop me an emoji if this makes sense. Let me know if you have questions along the way. Okay, reason number three, you're targeting the wrong people. Okay. You may be targeting an audience who may not be ready to invest in your specific program yet, or you may be targeting an audience who um, doesn't really understand the value of what you have to offer. And by the way, just so you know, that's okay. Like there's always a way to work around that. Like you can prime your audience, right? Like you can pre-educate them before you bring out your program. Like there's always a way around that, but you have to be like you have to just figure out like what is it it's my program not unique? Do they not think it's as great of a program as I think it is? Do I have the wrong people in my audience? Or if it's the quote unquote wrong people in my audience, can I prime them, or do I need to bring in new people? Right, like we this is how we start thinking like a CEO. This is the type of thought processing that allows you to scale your coaching business from zero to multiple six figures, right? Like this is the way that I teach my clients think because this is the way that allows you to navigate absolutely everything that's going to come up. Okay. So you want to start inquiring, you want to start coming from a place of curiosity, you want to start coming from a place of really understanding what's happening and knowing that you're going to find the answer. it, Growing a business is not about never having a struggle. It is actually about constantly navigating struggles the right way. That's a good quote. Write that one down. Growing a business is not about never having a struggle, it's about navigating struggles consistently the right way. Okay. Okay. Reason number four why it may not be selling. Maybe it's something that's not valued. Okay. Again, market research is so important. Don't make an offer without really understanding if it is something that people value. If you've made this mistake, or if this is the reason why your program is not selling, that is fine. All we need to do is change the way that you're positioning it. All of these things have an easy solution, right? But the solution can't come unless we understand what the actual problem is. Reason number five, your market is oversaturated, which number five and number one tie together, right? So you may be in an oversaturated market, which, for example, the coaching industry is oversaturated. So what we do is we really focus on bringing a unique angle to your programs and services, which is reason number one, unique selling proposition, right? So if your market is oversaturated, that's the problem. The solution is we need to figure out how to stand out and how to make your program like really, really unique. And there's so many ways to do this. I can't even go there because it's going to take an hour for me to explain this. Um, if you want me to dive deeper into it, though, let me know in the comment section and we can make that a topic for next month. So, if you want to learn about how to make your program more unique and how to come up with a really unique selling proposition so that you can stand out in an oversaturated market, let me know in the comment section and we'll bring it out. And if you're watching the replay, by the way, still comment, right? Like I always come back and I read all of your comments. Most of the time, I'm answering to everything you say. I love every single one of you who hops on here live and watches the replay. I know not everyone can join at 10 a.m. Eastern on a Monday morning. So if you're watching the replay, I want you to engage as if you were here live because you will still get my responses at some point throughout the week. Okay, reason number six, you haven't built customer trust yet. Okay, so you create a program, you go out and you sell it. Now, think about things that you buy. If I always like to analyze my purchasing habits, right? Like how do I buy? How do I like people to sell to me? What was that thing that made me take that next step? I try to analyze my own buying patterns. And when I think of this, I I realize that most of my purchases come, especially bigger purchases, they come from people who I trust. They come from people who I followed for a little bit. Doesn't have to be like months or years, but they come from people who maybe I read something that made me connect to them. Maybe I watched a live stream like the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show, and I really resonated with what they were saying. So a lot of my purchasing decisions come from a place of trust, right? And connection with that person. Every once in a while, I will, for example, see an ad from someone that I've never heard of before and just swipe my credit card, I put my PayPal information or whatever. But more times than not, there is something that connected me and made me trust that person that I'm buying from more. So if you're putting your offer out there and it's not selling, the problem could be that your audience hasn't encountered that connection and that trust point, and you haven't developed enough, you haven't put enough emphasis on developing more connection and more trust with your audience. Okay. I've said this a million times. You have heard it a million times. I know you guys are highly educated and you understand these things, but people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Okay. I know you have heard this. I know you will continue to hear it, but it is the truth. More times than not, when you buy something, you're buying it from someone that you've at least read something or connected with them in some way, or like you saw a post and you're like, oh my God, they're like amazing. Okay. So that could be an issue. Let's keep going down my list. What else do we have? I can't see comments. It is pretty annoying, but it's okay. Um, your customers may not be ready to buy. Okay. Connection is one part of that, right? Like maybe they haven't made that connection with you, but also maybe they just don't understand that they need what you have to offer, right? So, what we need to do here is prime them and make them understand why they're ready, why it's time for them to take the next action, how that next action is going to help them. So, a lot of this is really like pre selling your program or your course, which is a big mistake that a lot of people do. A lot of people create their course, create their program, and they don't spend the time to pre-educate their audience, to pre-connect with their audience, to pre-launch, to pre-prime. Literally, like there's so much work that goes before you actually sell the program, and that is a lot of what I'm like, all of this stuff that I'm saying, like a lot of work that goes before we even sell it. um what else? Okay, you may not have quality, social proof, or good design. Okay. Now, I really fought with myself on whether I wanted to add this one in or not, because I'm really a big believer in get your stuff out there before it's perfect. Like this is literally something I'm telling all of my clients all of the time. Better than perfect, better than perfect. Let's get it out there. Let's get it out there. Let's get it out there. I always say like your offer today is not going to be your offer 6 months from now, right? Like your program today is not going to be your program 3 months from now. So it's okay. Get it out there imperfect. You don't have to have perfect graphics. You don't have to have all the most amazing testimonials. We just want to get it out there. We want to get people through it. We want to make some sales. And then we want to come back, make it better, enhance it, and do all of the things. So I fought with myself on whether I should add this or not. But I think it's important, right? Because, especially, for example, if we're talking about coaching programs, which are thousands and thousands of dollars, this matters. And it doesn't matter from the standpoint of it's going to make or break it, or from the standpoint of like if you don't have a graphic designer you're not going to sell your program, or that if you've never worked with anyone and you don't have a testimonial, like it's going to be impossible for you to get a client. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I have definitely seen so many examples of this three things that I just mentioned not being perfect. Okay, quality, social proof, and design not being perfect, and still generating a lot of success from that. But if you've had an offer for a really long time and you've been getting it out there and none of these other blocks are resonating with you, maybe it's time to enhance it a little bit, right? Like maybe it's time to create a better sales page, or to create nicer graphics, or to add some social proof to it. So this is a lot of the things I was talking about before are pre promoting your offer. This is more of like after you promoted your offer, like this could be that missing link for you. And a lot of times it's a few of them mixed together. A lot of times it's not just one or the other, it's just like A, B, and C. Um, but again, you gotta get yourself thinking and figure out like what is the thing that I think um, is not allowing my audience to take that next step with me. Okay. Um, let's see. The other one is you're not solving a real problem, or a problem that's problematic enough to make your clients tick. Now, if you're going to get anything from this 11 reasons that I'm giving you as to why your offer may not be selling, think about this one. Business has always been and will always be about solving problems. Always and forever. That is what business is. Okay. The pest control guy that came in a rush because I rushed him last week because I found a cockroach in my house, which is normal. I live in Florida. It's the summer. It's been raining a lot. But his business is built upon the idea that people have a major problem: insects that are not welcomed in their homes, right? The guy who cleans my neighbor's pool, his business is built on the idea that leaves and rocks and dirt is going to go in the pool. And that's a problem because then when we have people over, no one's going to use the pool. So every single business is built upon solving a problem. Even if I think about product-based businesses like my dad imports and exports construction materials. Like, he is solving a problem for someone. At some point in his distribution level, he's solving a problem for someone. He's either solving a wall that is broken, or he's solving the problem of not having materials to make a building, right? Or he's solving the problem of having tools that are scarce where he lives, whatever. Like, every business is about solving a problem. So if your program or your course is not selling, I want you to ask yourself, are you solving a real problem? Okay. And or is the problem that you're trying to solve problematic enough to make your buyers tick? Okay. So, especially when we get to things like coaching, career coaching, relationship coaching, life coaching, right? Like, a lot of the things that we sell are either problems that people may not find important enough to solve, or not even problems, but enhancements. Okay. So we really need to be very strategic here with making sure that we're emphasizing what the problem is, making sure that we're figuring out what our ideal clients actually believe to be a problematic enough to want to pay money for, right? We want to use their language and we want to tweak our program to that. Notice that all of these problems, it's not about anything other than making minor tweaks, right? It's not about completely breaking down what you've created and building something new, although that may be what you have to do. More times than not, it's just a minor tweak here and there, changing your USB, changing what problem you solve or how you're showcasing the problem that you solve, doing a little bit of market research, priming your audience before you sell it. Like, everything is just minor tweaks that need to be done in order for that program to sell more. Okay. But we just need to figure out what are those knobs that we need to turn. Okay. And then, last but not least, if you know me, you probably know what's coming. If you watch the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show consistently, you know what's about to come your way, which is you may not be selling enough. Okay. So I saved the biggest problem for last because, first of all, let's put this something on the table. Most of my clients come to me because they're having trouble getting clients and selling their programs, right? So a majority of my clients come to me because they're getting started and they're like, I don't want to start this business on my own. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm a great coach. I have a million certifications, but I have no idea how to have a business online, or I've had a business offline and I have no idea how to do it online. Okay, that's one angle. The other angle is, I'm a great coach. I have a million certifications. I have so much knowledge, experience, passion, all the things. Um, I've been trying this for months, years. I don't even know how long now, and I just can't figure it out, right? I have X, Y, and Z, but no one's buying. I have X, Y, and Z, but it's not working. I have tried this, I have tried that. I bought this course, and I just don't know how to make money. I just don't know how to get booked out with clients. I just don't know how to build a six-figure business, okay? So I have seen a lot of business start from scratch. And I have seen a lot of business that struggle for a while. And a lot of times, one of the reasons why their programs or their courses are not selling, it's because they're not selling it enough. Okay. If you are a true fan of the Business Breakthrough with Purpose show, you know I have said this in the past. Most people are not selling enough. Most people think that posting your program twice a week in your Facebook group with 80 members is going to be enough. It's not, right? It's not. If that is what your local stores would do to market themselves and to sell themselves, they would go out of business. So, why do we have lower expectations of our coaching programs and our coaching courses when you are a legitimate business CEO, coach, and all of the things, right? So, those are the 11 potential. Wait, did I say 11 or am I missing one? I think I'm missing one. Oh, and the other one is your marketing plan needs to be tweaked. Okay, so you're either not selling enough or your marketing plan is just not serving you in order to make sales of your program or your course. Okay, so with that said, those are the 11 reasons as to why your course or your program is not selling. So now, what do we do? Okay, what do we do if it's not selling? How can we turn the ship around? How can we actually start getting some money in? Few things. Again, this was really hard for me to put together because everyone is going to have a different game plan. Okay, so I'm going to need you to think like a CEO a little bit here, and I'm going to need you to figure out what your problem is. You may need to survey your clients, you may need to survey your audience, you may need to have conversations with your potential clients to figure out, like, why are you not buying, why are you not taking that next step. You may need to do some polling, market research, like that may need to happen in order for you to figure out why it's not selling. But at least you now have some understanding as to what are the things that could be keeping you from making more sales. Now, the next step is, what do you do once you know what that is? Okay, so I'm gonna pretty much give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 step process that I teach my clients in way more detail so that they can sell their programs. Okay. So, step number 1, figure out why it's not selling. Step number 2, tweak what you figure out that's not working. Okay. And then this is how you sell your programs. Okay. Number 1, you have to consistently be growing your community. If you've been selling the same program to the same 100 people in your email list for the past 6 months, I don't like to live from a space of limitation, so I'm not saying it's never going to sell, right? But think about what I just said. If you've been selling the same program to the same 100 people in your email list for the past 6 months, what makes you think that those 100 people who've been hearing about your offer who have declined it for 6 months are going to buy now, right? So, community growth is imperative when it comes to selling your offers, okay? And you don't have to be like a huge online marketing guru. You don't have to be bringing in 10,000 new leads every month. I don't even do that. I thrive and have built a wildly profitable business of really small communities. And I know a lot of you are like, oh, but your group is like 4,000. That's like really big. And yeah, it is. But it took me years to get it here, right? And I've been very successful for years and years and ends. So my group was not always 4,000 people. My group started with 0 people. And then it was 50, and then it was 100, and then it was 300, right? And I was still getting clients from small communities. But it's because it's not about the number, it's about the consistent flow of new leads, okay? So, community growth, market research, okay? Don't create an offer and don't put an offer out there before you really understand what your people want and need, okay? Then we need to pre-nurture your people. So if you're going to sell a program about, I'm going to give you a personal example because I can't think of anything right now. If I'm about to launch my 6-month program, which was formerly called Magnetize and Success, it's now called Money, Magic, and Mastery. If I'm about to pre launch that, that program is to help coaches scale their business to the next level, or start their business and scale it to the next level, go from 0 to 6 figures while working together. If I'm about to pre-launch that, I need to pre-educate you guys, not only in the value of what one-on-one coaching can do for you, not only on the potential return of investment that you could get if you work with a coach, but I also need to pre-educate you on all of the things that you and I are going to work together in that program. Okay. So content, marketing, sales, visibility, confidence building, sales calls, discovery calls, setting up your business foundations, tech, like all of the things that go into working with me for 6 months. I want to let you guys know why that's important. Okay. So I'm not just going to bring out my program and be like, hey, here's my program. It's going to change your life. Buy it. I'm going to be like, and by the way, do you know that one of like the top 5 most important things that you need to do in your business in order to get your next client is content, visibility, marketing, whatever. I'm going to start showing you guys why those things are important. Okay. So, pre-nurturing you, connecting with you, showcasing the value with you before I even sell to you is one of the reasons why I always sell out my programs. Because I don't just think about the sell, I think about allowing you guys to understand before I even sell it. Okay. Um, then we want to have a promotional window. You don't want to be promoting your program all year long. You don't want your program to be out from January to December, because then that doesn't create a sense of urgency. That doesn't Not only does it not create a sense of urgency, but it also drains you and overwhelms you. And it doesn't allow people to take that next step. Okay. So you want to sit down, again, putting your CEO hat on. You want to sit down and you want to figure out, okay, this is my year. These are my programs. On January, from this day to this day, I'm going to push this out. Not only is that going to help you make more sales from the perspective that your clients are going to have a sense of urgency, they're going to want to take that next step because once the door closes, they close, but it is also going to help you have a higher level of commitment and concentration to selling that program. If you have that program and you're like, oh yeah, I just promote it every week, right? Now you're not really focusing on being like, okay, how can I push this out more? Who can I reach out to? Who can I follow up with? What else can I do? What other live stream can I make? What other topic can I talk about? What other post can I write so that this program sells? So having a promotional window helps your clients see, hey, I have to take action if I really want this, and if I don't know when it's going to come back out. But it also helps you focus 100% on when you're promoting your program, right? Like it helps you be like, oh, that person in my group said this, or this person that I talked to in the past wasn't ready. Maybe I need to follow up with them. Or people are saying that they're really struggling with that. Maybe I should create a live stream event or like a challenge or a workshop around it to help push myself. So, like, now you're really focused on making more sales. Okay. So, having a promotional window is super, super, super important. Um, there are other launch models. This is not the only way to do it. But if you're having trouble, this is specifically if you're having trouble selling your program or your course, you want to try having a promotional window. Okay. Not all of my clients do this. I don't always do this, right? But this is specifically for those of you who have been struggling to make sales of your program and your course. Um, okay, you also want to get into the mindset of it's not over until it's over. So now that we have a promotional window, I don't want you to quit on day 3 out of 7 or day 5 out of 10. Okay. It is not over until it's over. You really have to lean in during that week or those 5 days or those 2 weeks, whatever that promotional window is for you. You really want to lean into the idea of you are showing up for the promotion of your program and trying to get people into that program to your fullest capacity until the very last day at 11:59 p.m. when the doors close. That's when you stop believing, that's when you stop taking action, that's when you go to the next step, which is you go back and you analyze what worked, you analyze what didn't work, you process your emotions, you do your mindset work, you coach around it if you have a coach, And then you rinse and repeat. And you do it again and again and again until you create the most successful promotional window for you. So, going back to my personal example, my first launch sucked. I cried a lot. I didn't sell any spots. Okay. I processed what I had to process. I coached around it with my coach. I saw what worked. I saw what didn't work. I saw where people got stuck. I saw the excuses that people gave me, and I tweaked everything around that. And the next time I used all of that data to promote that program again, but differently. Okay. So if people were telling me that they didn't have time for it, I would address that objection in my marketing. If people were saying that the times where the group coaching calls weren't working, I changed the times for the group coaching calls, right? Like you literally have to analyze your data and rinse and repeat. And then an extra tip that I'm going to give you is be open to the idea of personally connecting to people when you're promoting your program. A lot of people have this thought or belief that all you have to do is post and hop on a live stream. And yes, that is one way to build connection. But the quicker that you can accelerate that connection, the more likely you are to make a sale. So be willing to message someone, be willing to have a conversation, be willing to ask them questions, be willing to say, like, hey, I saw that you've been commenting on this. Do you have any questions? Are you interested in it? I would love to talk to you about it. Be willing to be like, hey, if you guys have questions about this program, let's hop on a phone call. I know a lot of coaches really look down upon phone calls and discovery calls and sales calls, and I'm not for or against it. I do them, I love them, but I have clients who don't. But it's just really leaning into the idea that the quicker that you can accelerate the connection with your audience, the quicker that they're going to take that next step. Okay. So be willing to have that personal connection, especially if you're struggling to sell your programs and your courses. You're going to have to do a little bit more uncomfortable things until it starts selling, until you create a process that works, until you can rinse and repeat that over and over again with a little bit more ease. Yeah. Um, that's it. That's it for me today. That was a lot. That was a lot. I hope this was really helpful for you guys. I want to know what resonated with you the most. I want to know what action you're taking next. Um, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments. I want to know absolutely everything. If you were here live, thank you for joining me. I will see you next week at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you've been struggling to do this and you're just done trying to figure it out on your own, message me. This is literally what I help people with. Message me. I may have a tip for you. I may have some insight to give you. And we can definitely talk about how you no longer need to do this alone and how you can actually have a business co pilot helping you navigate all of this discomfort and confusing and overwhelming things of starting and scaling a business, right? Selling your program and your service is such an imperative piece. So if you're ready to do that with some support, definitely shoot me a direct message. Um, if you're here live, thank you for joining live. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Set your alarms for next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Vote throughout the week. Let me know if you have questions. I will come back and answer everything. Um, and that's it. I'm clocking off today. I have a very long day, but it has been a pleasure to be here as always. Bye, everyone.